Hello, my name is Doug Haney. I'm the owner of Absolute-DJs, and I'm creating this instructional video today to help our wedding couples when creating their music request list within their client login. When the wedding is booked with us, every couple receives a client login where to get into that personal space that's provided for them, they need their wedding date and they need a password, and that password is given to them during the booking process. Again, for the sake of this is really directed towards our wedding couples, but some other events that folks may book with us, they may find this useful as well. But the majority of what we do and what we market for is weddings. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and click into a client login that I have set up. So I simply click the client login header, and we'll come down here to September 28th. And we'll insert a password. We're going to click login, and then it'll take you into your client login screen. Now, when you book a wedding with us, you're going to have more things in here, such as the music request. You'll have a planning form. You can make payments through here. There's a contact form. There'll be some other features that will be available to you when booking the wedding. But for this reason, as I said, I want to concentrate just on the music request section today. So couples often will contact me. They have some questions about quantity of music to pick, or maybe they have some questions about how the tools work specifically. So I think you'll find this helpful as we go along. So the first thing we're going to do is click on the music request section. And I want to show you that you can search for songs within this space by the artist. You can search by song title. If you would like to search, by the letter, as far as the letter of an artist or the letter, the beginning letter of a song, you could do so here. But I think for couples to sit down and just create a request list out of the blue, that could be difficult. And I think because of that, most couples that we DJs weddings will find the most requested button most helpful. So if you click on this, the first thing that you're going to see appear is the top 200 songs that are presently being chosen. Now, without ever leaving this page, you can create 3 different types of playlists simply by clicking on the plus signs that you'll see to the right of the songs. The green one is add to must play, the yellow is play if possible, the red is do not play. I want to take a minute to talk about do not play. The most common reason that couples put songs in their do not playlist is that they don't like the song. But I want you to think about something else as well. Music can bring up bad memories as well as good memories, and I think probably most couples this may not apply, but it does with some, and so I want you to at least think of that. An example I could give you is I had a bride who unfortunately her father had passed away shortly before the wedding. There was a song played at his funeral. She did not want that played at her wedding, understandably. I also met with a couple in my office at one day, and the bride had said there was a song she wanted on the do not play list. I was curious why, just asking her, and she said, well, he's been married before, and that was a song that was his first dance song at his previous wedding. So a very valid reason for her to not want that played during the wedding. Over to the left of any of the songs, you can view the song lyrics by clicking this icon, or actually listen to a song sample. If you're unsure, is that the song that I think it is, this would help you with that. So I want you to be aware of it. Now, at the top of this list, you'll notice that there is a drop down. Presently, again, we're looking at the overall top 200. But let's say you was a big fan of the 80s, okay? You can click on this and you're going to see various lists of songs in here. Songs that are currently trending. Down here, top 1980s. If I was to click that, what you're going to see is a list of top hits from the 80s. So I hope you'll find that helpful as well. Now, in that drop-down list also, underneath wedding charts, you're going to find song suggestions for a bride and groom's first dance, father-daughter dance, mother-son. Songs that are pertaining to formalities at a wedding. Now, I want to make you conscious of this. If you've booked our services for a wedding, you will have a wedding planning form. And on the planning form, there are spaces provided to input these songs. Okay? So I would prefer that you don't put any of these songs in your request list because they're going to get mixed in with your request time, which will make sense to you here in just a moment. So I want you to be aware this is here for the reference. Come here, look, see if you can find a song. If you like what you find, go back to your planning form, input that song in the appropriate space provided, and we're good to go. The only thing I would tell you is if you had specifics for the money dance, or better known as the dollar dance, you could put those songs in this list also. So be aware these lists are here. I'm going to go ahead and back up out of this screen. I've already somewhat created a few lists. You'll see the request list I've started on here. I've created a must play, play if possible, and a do not play. Okay, so that's 3 lists that we can create, but there's one more playlist that we can create. We have a very good library, and for the time we've been in the business, I think one of the best libraries out there. But the simple fact is, no DJ service has every song. It's just an impossible task for any DJ service to do. So to combat that situation, we provide you this custom song button. If you click this and you put the artist, title of the song in there, and you click the plus sign, we will get that song for you. It doesn't cost you anything additional. That's what you're paying for when hiring Absolute-DJs. Okay, so that's how you would take care of that situation. Now, in the must play list, I want you to be aware it counts how many songs you have chosen and tells you how many or how long it's going to take to play those songs. Well, why is that important? Getting back to an average wedding reception being 5 hours, if you're doing all of the formalities that are part of a wedding reception, grand entrance, or pardon me, cocktail time, grand entrance, blessing, dinner, toast, cake cutting, the bouquet and garter toss, and then you start getting into the dances, first dance, father-daughter, mother-son, and so on. Those formalities are going to take you about 2 to 2.5 hours to get through. We're not telling you have to do all of them. If you book our services on the planning form, there's toggle switches that say, yes, we'd like to do it. No, we would not. If you don't, obviously you don't input any information in the space provided. If you do, we need that information. But let's, for the sake of the video, we're going to assume that you're going to do all of those formalities. And as mentioned, they're going to take you about 2 to 2.5 hours to get through. Why is that important? Well, that tells us how much open dance time we're going to wind up with. And so I usually recommend that a bride and groom pick out and create a request list for party time that's about 3 hours long. That's very important. It doesn't do you any good to create a 8-hour request list if you're hiring us for 5 hours. If anything, in my opinion, that hurts you more than helps you. So be conscious of that. I got a survey back from a guy years ago, and that was one of the things he commented on. He said, I wish you would have played more off of our request list. That's exactly what I found. Is this gentleman picked 8 hours worth of music, hired us for 5 hours. Obviously, we can't fit all of that music into that time available. So since that happened, I have this conversation with every couple that comes to my office and sits down with me. You know, if you had an excessive list, and I told you, you know, you've got 3 hours to party, go through this list and tell me what you really want to hear. You're going to go through and you're going to look at some of those songs and go, you know, I like this, but I could do without it that night. That's really what we're trying to find out. What are your favorites? I don't care that somebody creates a large and excessive request list, but I do care if later on we receive a satisfaction survey where they're making complaints as far as not being able to play that quantity of music. We just can't do it. So I would rather that you think about the time frame available, pick your really favorites. That's what we get paid to do. Play your favorites, play your friends and family's favorites, assuming that we're allowed to do that, and that's up to the bride and groom. Most of the weddings we do, they do give us permission to do that. And when you're playing off of a bride and groom's list, you're taking requests from the friends and family. It's kind of a win-win situation for us. It's hard to go wrong. We don't get paid to play what we want to hear. We get paid to play what you want to hear. And that does vary. I've met with couples that will come to my office and say, Doug, we want absolutely no country music played at our wedding. There's nothing wrong with that. That's their wedding. And that is the reason that we have the meetings. That's what these tools are for, to help out with that. So the fact of the matter is, we don't all like the same type of music. So pick out about 3 hours in a 5-hour average situation for party time. Most of the time for us DJs, we're going to probably play 2 to 3 slow songs per hour. The majority of the music is going to be upbeat. Be conscious of that as well when you're picking the music out. Now, you can pick music for cocktail time. You can pick music for dinner time. If I had a couple that came and sit down with me and said, Doug, maybe they've got a 4-hour list. Rather than knocking that list down, if some of the songs that they chose were appropriate for dinner and they thought so, rather than not hear them at all, why not play them for dinner? So you can pick cocktail music, you can pick dinner music. I would tell you that regardless of how many hours you're booking us for, I would advise you to pick no more than an hour for cocktail, no more than an hour for dinner. So you could say, okay, Doug, if we do that, then how are you going to know that those are songs we want for those specific times? Well, you'll notice down here that when you created your list, there's a little trash can, which you can remove the song from the list, or there is a little notepad where you can attach notes to songs. I want to point out also that all of these signs or icons, if you will, are explained down here at the bottom of the page. But you can also hold your mouse over the top of these and they'll tell you exactly what they do. But getting back to what we was talking about, if you wanted a song, let's say you wanted this Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer for dinner. We would click on this. You can type in one word, dinner. We'll save that note. Now you can't see the note until we go to print our list off. So when I go to print your list, you'll see the notes over here. Okay, so that's how we would know to play that for dinner or cocktail time, etc. Okay, it's not going to be necessary for you to go through the rest of the list and put dance song, dance music. We pretty much know that if it's not dinner, if it's not cocktail, that the rest of it's going to be dance music. The only other thing I would tell you is that I kind of mentioned this before, a money dance or a dollar dance. If you want specifics for that, you could put those in here, attach a note to them that says dollar dance, but I probably wouldn't advise you to pick out any more than 5 songs. That's usually pretty good for a dollar dance. So you can certainly do that. Now, what else could we use these notes for? Well, you guys know your friends and family better than we do, and we're trying to create a trouble-free day for the both of you. We don't want to have to leave a bunch of things that you need to come up and remember that night to tell us. The goal here is to create that trouble-free wedding day for the bride and the groom so they can enjoy their reception, spend it with their friends and family, and not have to worry about these things. So, you know your friends and family better than we do, as mentioned before. I'm going to give you some examples that you could use these notes for. Let's say you have some friends of the family there. You attach a note to a song, says Mr. and Mrs. Smith 50th anniversary. We're going to play that song. We're going to say we understand we have an anniversary in the place tonight. We like to wish Mr. and Mrs. Smith a happy anniversary, and the bride and the groom have chosen this song specifically for you. Another note, I had a bride put a note on a song. She said, make sure I'm in the room when you play this. This is my jam. I found that humorous, but very important. Maybe if she's off in the bathroom, or maybe she's a smoker and she's outside having a cigarette. I certainly don't want to play that and her not be in the room and then me playing it twice. We normally don't play songs twice unless it's requested by the bride and the groom. We try to stick to one time and one time only. But if the people that's hiring us would like to hear a song repeatedly, we're certainly going to play that for them. Another situation, I had a lady, she was in her 60s. It happened to be the groom's mother, and she wanted to teach everybody how to do Movin' Like Bernie and The Wobble by Vic. It was something that I would have not had any idea that this lady even knew those, but not only did she know them, she wanted to teach everybody. So we're looking around, make sure that mom's in the room. We're going to get the mother out here right now. She's got a couple songs she wants to teach everybody. We encourage you guys to get up and participate, which they did. It went over very well. Point being, I don't know this. We at Absolute-DJs don't know this if you don't tell us. And that doesn't mean you couldn't come up spur of the moment and tell us on the spot the night of. But again, if you can, if you know it up front, it might be best to use the notes and then you don't have to worry about it that night. Okay. One other thing I do want to mention is when you're working on this, whatever you do, always remember to save your list when you're finished. If you don't, and you sit here and spend an hour working on this and you come back at a later time, that information's not going to be there. You're going to have to start all over. So always remember to do that. One other thing too, on a custom song, when you're, excuse me, not the custom song, the notes. When you're putting a note in, this is very important. It has to be 50 characters maximum. Okay, so if you start typing into this space and you go to save your note and it does not save, that's probably because you used too many characters. Got to kind of keep that description to a minimum, and then it'll save your note with no problem. So I want you to be aware of that. With that being said, that's pretty much it. I'm going to list below our website, my contact phone number, email address. We here at Absolute DJs specialize in the best DJ and MCs in the area. We also can provide lighting, video, and certainly assist you with the planning process when it comes to weddings. As I said before, we've been doing this since 1992 and stay very busy. So one other thing, anytime you're hiring a DJ, always read their reviews. That's very important. We encourage people to do that. We have a very good reputation as one of the professionals in the business. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.